Calling to order the 31st regular meeting of the Lake County Board of Commissioners. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear God, please bless our meeting today. May our discussions be fruitful, our decisions wise, and our community strong. Amen.
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 Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Here.
Commissioner Regovich.
Here.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Present. We have before us minutes for the regular meetings of June 27, July 9th, July 16th, July 18th, and July 25th, all of 2024. Do I have a motion to approve waiving reading of the same?
I'll make a motion.
Second, sir.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes. And now for public comment. Any member of the public wishing to address the Board of Commissioners, please approach the dais, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes. Anyone for public portion today? Bishop.
Bishop Gerard Pierre Mobile, 1049 Brentwood Drive, Pennsville, Ohio. From 1983 to present, I'd like to say thank you to all the commissioners that serve. From 1983, I was only 31 years old. All I can see great things in this city, great things. But this morning as I came in, looking on my left, 2023 Board of Commissioners, John Amerchek, John Plechnik, John Wigovich, Commissioners, Raymond Saenz, Robert Affoldish, Daniel Petroy, Judy Moran, Kevin Malisek, Jerry Serino, Ron Young, Jason Wooliger, Mark Tyler, and the project management, Jason Boyd, administrator, Gary Fidak, architect, Burgess, and Nepal, and all the others. Commissioner John Plechnik, I'm so grateful and so thankful to see I am alive, to be here, and after a long time, all of us probably will be gone, this building will be here, and it's because of the commissioners. I want you, the three of you, to be proud, very proud of what you are doing. You are doing great things, and I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful to live in a country like this. And I'm so thankful also, it speaks the citizen, all of this have done for the great citizens of Lake County, all of this. And I'm so happy to see something that's inside of me. I know there is no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, permanent interests, permanent people. The voice of the people is the voice of God. I know for sure, one person that I met will become governor. Who knows? Maybe President of the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public portion?
No gong this morning. Chris Bahari, West Jackson Street, Painesville. Again, I thank the Bishop for understanding and reflecting to all the leaders that have been here as the county commissioners. Lake County is very special in God's heart. Very special that we had a president come from here, and that we had many righteous leaders. And being leaders here, the commissioners have an opportunity to be very precious to building a community of love. And that community of love is God's original intention. God's original intention was to have a family. It was broken in the beginning, but now is a time of great revolution. Now is a time of great understanding. And it is also a turbulent time when forces want to destroy that and keep it from coming. So, along with the Bishop, I pray that support goes, and that we also pray for God's destiny to follow and be with all that are here and leading this community to building truly a great state and truly building a great nation and supporting a great world movement. So I'd like to have just one moment of silent prayer of all the wars and possibility of wars, that they will not overcome the righteousness of truly God-centered people. Let's have a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public portion? Anyone else?
I'm willing to go after your squad of flying monkeys if it helps.
Anyone else for public portion?
Oh, ladies first.
No, please.
Ladies
No,
first.
I insist.
Anyone else for public portion?
You can always drop the gavel and close public portion, sir.
Last call. Okay, Chris.
Chris Weiss, Leroy. Boss Plechnik, isn't it comical that you do exactly the thing that you send your squad of flying monkeys to accuse Hammercheck of doing, of putting me up to come and speak on his behalf, which is not the case at all. One can only wonder. Last week, Mr. Massey spoke of the refrigerator magnets and newsletters and brought out the fact that it's over $700,000 of public funds being expended to splash your three faces across the county when that stuff could simply be put on a website. If people are going to look at it at all, they could find it there. Curiously, though, I did a little digging and I found out, Boss Plechnik, you're the guy behind that. The commissioner's office didn't used to put out those kind of publications before your tenure, and they certainly didn't put them out with the kind of volume that you did. And also, they didn't always have your picture in just about every little article within the newsletters. Another little thing I came across looking into some of this is the H2O to go bus. So apparently, you came across a bus at Lake Tran that was going to be decommissioned, usually because they're completely worn out by the time they want to get rid of them. Not to let that go to waste. You guys went ahead and got the thing wrapped with a pretty wrap around it with your faces on it, and had a whole lot of work done at public expense. Lake Tran was supposed to keep that bus in its premise, provide drivers, and do all the maintenance on it. But after the bus got done, that didn't seem to be the case. It wound up falling on the utilities department to do that. So the bus sits around most of the time. A lot of stuff doesn't work on it. The lights can't be turned off inside of it. They have to assign drivers, and in one case, the director had to drive the bus because nobody else was there. And what does the bus actually do? You put a 250-gallon water tank in it that has to have water specially sanitized so that it's safe to provide to the public, when you could have just gotten a U-Haul truck and loaded it full of cases of water and passed the stuff out. By the way, whatever happened to the viticulture region sign? Wasn't Faith Andrews going to give you guys, what was it, $250,000, $700,000, something in that range? It was hundreds of thousands of dollars. Did that ever get built? I don't see the sign out there. Interestingly, after Mr. Heberbrand spoke last week, you put out, what again? Another press release. And you accuse Hammercheck of that. Wonderful. Have a great week.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. Thank you. Anyone else for public portion? You're up. By the way, I want to remind the public that you only have the opportunity to speak at the podium, and exclamations from the audience are not permitted. I'm trying to be understanding because sometimes we forget the rules, but it is a crime to disrupt a public meeting. Let's show respect to one another.
Beverly Shalero, Concord, Girdled Road, and I do not ever have to be told to come to my community in front of my commissioners and stick up for things that I think that are right and that the public should know about. For months, Chris Weiss has come to the commissioners' weekly meetings relentlessly insinuating and accusing Commissioner Pleshnik of not being a good person. He stated that Mr. Pleshnik received a sweetheart deal on an issue that has been resolved. In reality, Chris Weiss is the one who received a number of sweetheart deals. Let us not forget his 3 domestic violence charges against his ex-wife, all in the same year. His assault on a young lady working at Dairy Queen, where he joked and said that was the most expensive ice cream he ever had. The felony forgery charge, the felony tampering with evidence charge, all pled down. And after all that violence and criminal behavior, Chris only spent 45 days in jail and paid fines. Now, who does Chris Weiss know in our Lake County system that would allow such violence without the repercussions we know others would suffer? As a past victim of domestic violence, I'm very disheartened with these results. Chris likes to talk about his ethics, so let's talk about that. Chris often notes his Army Ranger status by declaring Rangers lead the way after many of his public outbursts. However, after reading the Army Ranger Creed, I question Chris Weiss's loyalty to such an honorable stance that recognizes a Ranger for upholding the prestige and honor of their Ranger regiment, acknowledging that a Ranger is an elite soldier who can keep mentally alert, physically strong, and morally straight, and under no circumstance will he ever embarrass his country. But Chris Weiss is not this man. The Chris Weiss we all know has a history based on violence towards women and willingness to break the law. A person who weakly displays his desire to continue such behavior by verbally harassing, intimidating, and bullying others. I came before the commission a few meetings ago to address the relentless rants of Chris Weiss towards Commissioner Pleshnik. I no sooner left the building than Mr. Weiss was texting threatening messages to my phone. And he continues today putting threats through my mail. Okay, we are talking about a person who allegedly does not even own a home in Lake County or pay property taxes in our county. And it doesn't count when your mother pays it. Commissioner Pleshnik, I commend your tolerance and patience as you take the higher ground. Chris, I hope you get the help you so desperately need. God bless our community and our country.
Thank you. Anyone else for public portion? Anyone else?
Thank you, Commissioner. Matthew Heberbrand, 403 Heisley Park Lane. I would like to first acknowledge that the remarks that I've made in the past have all been based on publicly known facts, and that's the shame of it. All too often in our modern politics, a story breaks, crimes are alleged, and then nothing happens. And people are wondering, what happened? Think of the Hillary Clinton laptop, the Hunter Biden laptop, and now we have the John Hamercheck laptop, the biggest unsolved crime in Lake County history. For 2 weeks, I've asked on behalf of my constituents to get to the bottom of those facts. All of you commissioners, none of you are entitled to the position you're in. You all hold this in trust by and on behalf of the people of Lake County. This building is owned by the people of Lake County. Those offices are provided to you on behalf of the people of Lake County. That ID card, Commissioner Hamercheck, is the people's ID card. So we have a right to know how it was used, how these offices have been used. That Board of Elections server is our server. It's paid for by our tax dollars. We have a right to know when someone tries to access it, how that happened, why it happened. So tell us. I am demanding on behalf of the people of Lake County to know these facts. Did you use your ID card that evening, Commissioner Hamercheck? If it wasn't you, who was it? Who did you give access to that ID card to your offices? Whose laptop was it? Why was it in your office that time of night? On the night of the primary election, and why was it trying to access the Board of Election servers? The people of Lake County deserve an answer. I look forward to your response.
Thank you. Anyone else for public portion? Anyone else?
Good morning. Brian Klokowski, Leroy Township, Ohio. Here we are again with Mr. Weiss spewing nonsense and acting like he understands the law, which it is clear he does not. Commissioner Plechnik is again being maligned through innuendo that has nothing to do with fact, which in my opinion amounts to slander. The bigger question that was raised over the last couple of weeks was, where does the investigation into the use of Commissioner Hamercheck's key card stand? Commissioner Hamercheck has refused to answer why his key card was used by either himself or others in May of 2020 to attempt to access the Lake County Board of Election servers. Commissioner Hamercheck never reported his key card missing, and he apparently used it in days after this attempt was made. The Ohio Secretary of State, Frank LaRose, was quoted as saying, "Whomever had access to Commissioner Hamercheck's office was unsuccessful in hacking into the servers. But, quote, that of course is when we launched a criminal investigation," close quote. He was further quoted as saying, "We continue to work with the county prosecutor, the Ohio Attorney General's Bureau of Criminal Investigation, as well as the FBI, because unauthorized access to a government network is a serious crime." Unfortunately, the Lake County Prosecutor's Office indicated in response to a public records request that they have no records of this investigation. The Secretary of State made clear he was working with them on. Given this is a serious crime, where are those records? Was the Ohio Secretary of State misleading or lying to the press, or is someone covering up for whom may have used Commissioner Hamercheck's key card? Why are there no records of this investigation with the Lake County Prosecutor's Office who were supposed to be involved in this? Now, this morning, Dave Hackman said they're going to take another look for this, and I appreciate that, Dave. Why isn't Commissioner Hamercheck being more forthright? The public needs answers. Why are not the Democrats or Republicans in Lake County asking these various questions? They all should be. I agree with the Republican Central Committee member who spoke earlier, who is also an assistant county prosecutor in Ashtabula County. We need answers. You have them, Commissioner Hamercheck. You are accountable to the public, so please let us know. I'm going to close with one quote by Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin said, Commissioner Hamercheck, "He who lays down with dogs rises up with fleas." Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public portion? Anyone else? Hearing none, on to resolutions. Madam Clerk.
In the Engineer's Office, resolution awarding a bid contract to Specialized Construction Incorporated for the County Line Road, County Road 141 Reconstruction Project Phase 2, as required by the Lake County Engineer in the amount of $863,339.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hamercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
In the Utilities Department, resolution increasing appropriations and transferring cash within Lake County Department of Utilities Water Fund and Project Fund 595, Lakeshore Boulevard Waterline Replacement, East 288th Street to Seabourn, Project 448W, 2021.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hamercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution awarding a bid contract in the amount of $381,883.54 to Dial Electric for Dodd Hill Wastewater Treatment Plant and Chimney Ridge Pump Station Facilities Improvements, Contract 2, Project 456S, 2021.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hamercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution certifying unpaid water and sewer sums and administrative charges to the Lake County Auditor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hamercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
And Job and Family Services Department, resolution approving Lake County Department of Job and Family Services vouchers date of warrant, August 9, 2024, in the amount of $120,762.37.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hammercheck,
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
And the Commissioner's Office, resolution providing for not to exceed $80 million aggregate principal amount of bonds to pay a portion of the cost of constructing, equipping, furnishing, and otherwise improving building facilities improvements, including any site improvements and all necessary appurtenances thereto, together comprising the County Correctional Facilities Project.
Move to approve.
Second.
This resolution, Resolution 6 on the agenda, as well as Resolution 7, are the authorization to go out for bonds and notes for the jail. And I'd like to have our Director of Administrative Services, who oversees our budget, to say a few words about what these two resolutions mean for the jail project.
Sure, good morning. So the reason these two resolutions are both in the amount of 80 million, which would seem to be 160 million in total, is to give our underwriters the ability to, when we do sell these bonds and notes in September, to give them the ability to work with the ratio between notes and bonds to give us the best interest rate possible. We're still on track to only sell in totality between 115 and 120 million dollars of notes and bonds. That's what Jason talked about in his report a couple weeks ago. So we're still on track, but we wanted to give them authorization on both ends so they can maximize the interest rate, or minimize the interest rate in this case, that we would pay on these two issuances. So that's why the resolutions are the way they are.
Thank you so much. Any further discussion on the bond resolution? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution providing for not to exceed $80 million aggregate principal amount of notes in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to pay a portion of the cost of constructing, equipping, furnishing, and otherwise improving building facilities improvements, including any site improvements and all necessary appurtenances thereto, together comprising the County Correctional Facilities Project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution reappointing Timothy C. Brotzman, Ivan Valentik, and Rudy Vasugel III to the Lake County Planning Commission for terms expiring August 14, 2027.
Move to approve.
Second.
I would just say a big Lake County thank you to Tim, Ivan, and Rudy for their service on the Planning Commission. I know that our county administrator and former planning director would agree it's one of the most important roles in county government. They're volunteers. They put in a lot of time and effort to do the right thing for their neighbors. So we're grateful that all three of them were willing to step up and be reappointed. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $2,393,391.75.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $696,721.50.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations through various non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution transferring cash and appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes. With the conclusion of resolutions, we are on to departmental reports, starting with utilities. Thank you. Job and Family Services.
Thank you, Commissioner. I wanted to mention that the Back to School Bash took place this past Saturday. It was open to all Lake County children and their parents and caregivers. And we don't have all of the numbers put together quite yet of how many children and families attended the event, so I'll give a more formal presentation next week. But just wanted to acknowledge all of the volunteers and organizations and individuals that donated their time and their resources to make this event a success. Unfortunately, the weather didn't cooperate with us. It was the first year since Job and Family Services and Family and Children First Council have been sponsoring this event that it rained. However, hundreds of families waited out in the rain to get into the school, and I really think that that speaks to the success of the event and the importance of the event, and I applaud the parents and caregivers who were out there waiting in the rain with their children to prepare them for the school year. So looking forward to having a more formal presentation on the event next week so that we could highlight the work of all of the organizations that really do deserve a lot of credit for making the event a success. Thank you.
Thank you. Our County Administrator, Jason Boyd.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Yeah, just briefly following on to Resolution 6 and 7, Joel and I and Zach continue to prep for our bond rating call, interview, meeting, etc. next week. Matter of fact, we have a prep call this afternoon with our entire team. I think we're in a really good position based on my comments a couple weeks ago, and as Joel indicated today. Just want to let you know your management team will be ready, able, and prepared for that Moody's call here in about a week. So thank you.
Thank you. And Madam Clerk.
Yes, the next Commissioners' meeting is scheduled for next Thursday, August 15th at 10 a.m.
So we're back to Thursdays.
We're back to Thursdays.
Okay. And Legal.
No reports, Commissioner.
Thank you. So with that, we are on to old business. Any old business to come before the Commissioners? Any old business?
Mr. President, if I may.
Mr. Commissioner.
Again, Matt, I'm delighted to see that you stayed. That's 2 out of 3 times, so your average is improving. You've taken the time to introduce yourself as an Ashtabula County Assistant Prosecutor, a Lakeland Community College trustee, a Lake County Republican Party Central Committee member. I think it's also fair, because these are all positions of trust, that you also be recognized as being a Lake County Republican Party Finance Committee Chairman, a Lake County Republican Party Executive Committee member. You recently served on the Lake County Republican Party Bylaws Committee. And I think it's also worth mentioning you're a graduate of the John Marshall Law School. Your 3-minute presentations have more of the tone of a political stump speech. I have tried to be reasonable and de-escalate this manufactured drama. Very truly, I tell you, sir, someone has dealt you aces and eights, and they seated you at the table with your back to the door. You questioned the NOACA distraction. Things do not happen in a vacuum, sir. The mere fact that Lake County has received an $80 million grant of $129 million total on the very day that we should be celebrating success and flipping the script on the claims that NOACA is pure evil, that we can never dominate over Cuyahoga County or the city of Cleveland. There's no accident. Given the titles and positions of trust that you hold, no reasonable person could accept your claim of the greatest unsolved crime in Lake County history. To do so would require a reasonable person to completely ignore unsolved murder, unsolved rapes. I think I've made my point on that. I would like to go to something that you know well of, and Mr. Kolkowski, I know for a fact, has in his possession. A letter from Attorney General David Yost to Lake County Prosecutor Charles Colson regarding what is simply referred to as the Lake County Board of Elections computer investigation. Not very sexy, not very exciting. Pretty matter of fact, just like old Joe Friday, just the facts, ma'am. If I may say in pertinent part, the Attorney General has closed the investigation in this matter based on the findings of fact, in conjunction with law enforcement authorities in the United States and in conjunction with the Secretary of State, the alleged victim. I dare say the evidence demands a verdict. The timing of your attendance makes me wonder, what have you been promised? Are you auditioning for a job? Prosecutor, judge, magistrate, perhaps mediator? Overwhelmingly, your statements are counterintuitive. Just like you did not object to the $4.2 million grant working with NOACA that I helped secure for Lakeland Community College. What changed? What changed? It leads me to wonder, are there guidelines that you have to follow as an attorney? Ethical standards you're required to live by? I don't expect you to answer. I simply expect you to follow the law. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. Any more old business? Any more old business to come before the commission? Then on to new business. Do we have any new business? Any new business?
Mr. President,
Mr. Commissioner?
we had a very productive review at the Region 13 One Ohio Foundation discussion yesterday. There were approximately $24 million worth of asks for $2.4 million in funding. We made significant progress towards coming to that $2.4 million allocation. Just to put it into perspective, that dollar amount represents 2 years worth of funds, so we have to factor that in as we look towards subsequent years. But we made good progress. We do have a follow-up meeting, and it looks like we're going to be one of the first regions to be taken up by the foundation board, their team of experts who do have final review and contract signing. But we're making good progress, and I have to say that our Lake County team, Carl Dondorfer, Judy Moran, working with myself, they're doing a damn fine job, and you can take comfort in the effort that they're putting in. I believe there were 54 applications in Lake County, and it was a good and very productive discussion. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, but wanted to give you guys an update. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Any further new business? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, sir.
Second.
Madam Clerk,
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Rinkovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Placzek.
we stand adjourned.